We'll start the public hearing for this evening. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Councillor Striplin. Here. Councillor Wood. Councillor Brown. Here. Councillor Miller. Here. Councillor Reniger.
Here.
Councillor Bowles. Here. Councillor Fink.
Right. We have 4 items on our public hearing agenda tonight. The first is a resolution to grant a restaurant retail liquor license for Cesar Campos Reyes of El Patron Mexican Grill of Prattville, LLC, doing business as El Patron Mexican Grill. Is there anyone present that would like to speak in favor of this resolution? Raise your hand. Anyone that would like to speak in favor of the resolution? Anyone like to speak against the resolution? No one against. This item will be the first item on our regular agenda. The second resolution on the public hearing is to grant a retail beer on and off premise license and retail table wine on and off premise license for Cindy Stevens of Cindy Enterprises, LLC, doing business as Pasta Pizzeria and Grill. Is there anyone present that would like to speak in favor of this resolution? Anyone in favor of the resolution? Anyone here that would like to speak out against this resolution? Don't see anyone. Next item is a resolution to declare various wooded lots to be a public nuisance and ordering their abatement per Title 11, Chapter 67, Code of Alabama, 1975, as amended. Is there anyone present that would like to speak in favor of this resolution? Anyone in favor? Anyone that would speak out against this resolution? Anyone against? Okay. Last item on our public hearing agenda is a proposed ordinance to amend City Code Division 2, Sales Tax, Section 38-92, subparagraph C, imposition of certain sales and use taxes. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor of this proposed ordinance? Raise your hand. Anyone in favor? Anyone here that would like to speak out against this proposed ordinance? Mr. Brown.
Lonnie Brand, 258 Terry Lane.
Good evening, sir.
Evening. My understanding of this code is that instead of currently having the city tax rate reduced by 1/2 cent effective 1 January 2013, that it would extend it to that 1 cent past that date till an undetermined date. Is that true? Is that correct?
Well, the way the verbiage states in the resolution, Mr. Brand, is until repealed by the City Council.
So that's what I'm saying. It will stay that way until a further date.
Yes.
Okay. So just to refresh my memory to make sure I got it right, certain members of the council may not have even had a chance to vote when the council voted on having it changed from 1 cent to 1/2 cent effective 1 January 2013. So the ones that did have a chance to vote on that, how many of you are of those? Which ones remember voting that it would be 1/2 cent effective 1 January 2013? Just two of you? The question was, when the council voted on having 1/2 cent extra sales tax effective 1 January 2013 to continue until the end of the year, it was voted on before, but not all council members were available to vote on it. So the ones that were able to vote on it that are still here, then I was trying to make sure I understood how many there were then. So did you vote on having it to be reduced from 1/2 cent to 1 cent to 1/2 cent?
Yes.
So there were 3 of you that voted for that, the way I understood it?
4.
Did you vote for it?
Yes.
So there was 4 of you that voted for the 1/2 cent?
I'm not sure I understand the question. The first part was who was here
Well, I
And
mean,
then now you're asking how the vote was. Would you
Well,
clarify the question, please?
the question was, when the issue was raised by the council to have a 1 cent extra sales tax until December 31st, 2012, and then it reduced to an extra 1/2 cent sales tax effective 1 January 2013, and there was a point where that would also end, it'd be reduced back to 8.5%. There were members who voted in favor of that. That's why we currently have that. So I was trying to make sure I had it right as to who voted in favor of it at that time. They were able to vote at that time and voted in favor. So I got 4. Did you vote in favor or against it?
I was in favor.
You was in favor. So 5 of you voted in favor. The way I understand, it was proposed to be reduced from 1 cent to 1/2 cent to show the citizens of Prattville that the council was serious about reducing the city's debt, but not increasing the tax amount for undetermined amount of time until the council decided different. So now I'm getting the understanding that the city council is looking at the idea of keeping it at 1 cent until some undetermined date. So that's been changed from having an established date that the extra tax would be deleted to the extra tax will stay there until the council decides different. Am I understanding it right?
That is the proposal. It hasn't been done yet.
It hasn't been
That
done
is-
yet. That's what
the
you're looking
proposal.
at. Okay. So if 5 of you were willing to vote on from 1 cent to 1/2 cent effective 1 January 2013, what would be some of the reasons that would be a valid reason that should be considered for keeping it at 1 cent? You guys may have discussed it among yourselves, but I don't always know what you discussed among yourselves. So what would be some of the valid reasons why you would keep it at 1
Councilor
cent?
Bowles, would you like to address Mr. Brand's question first?
I'll be glad to. I was in favor of, when this first hit, I'm the one who came up with the 1 cent for 1 year, and let's talk about it every year. Now, when it hit, everything happened so fast, and we were scrambling so hard to try to make sure we didn't go into bankruptcy court, that we were trying to do the best thing we could. I made a mistake. What we should have done was say we're going to put the 1 cent on until we pay our debts. Like it or not, everybody out here voted for the old administration or didn't vote for them. You vote for people to represent you. It didn't work. Now we as a society have to pay for it. And that's where I'm still at today. Physically, we're not out of the woods. The 1 cent needs to stay on to get us out of the woods. I don't want to be like Jefferson County and going out here and having claim bankruptcy on our debt. If we do that, we'll never get another bond rating. It's physically responsible. So far, every penny we have collected on that tax has gone towards debt. And I believe in my mayor, and I believe in my council, that every penny that we collect from the citizens will go towards debt. And that's why I'm going to support it if we can fix the wordage. I don't like the wordage of being open-ended, but I do believe that we need to maintain this tax until the debt is paid or until the economy turns around, which I'm not betting on the economy because that's what happened. So until we can turn the debt around and get on solid ground where we don't need the penny to pay the debt, and at that time we'll take it away. But I don't know when that is, because if I did, I'd be a rich man. You know? And so at this point in time, we were hoping the economy would turn. It hadn't. I'm for keeping the 1 cent because I do believe in my mayor. I do believe in the council. And I know that the 1 cent has been spent the way we said it was going to be spent. Second of all, I did campaign on this. And when I was knocking on doors, the main thing I told people is if you want this debt paid, you keep me, but the 1 cent stays on. If you want this 1 cent to go away, then don't vote for me. Plain and simple. That's the only thing I campaigned on. Won by 54%, so I figure 54% of the people want to pay the debt. And that's why I'll be supporting a different verbiage of this, but I won't support it as it's written today. Okay?
Well, the wordage that was used previously was that the reason it was proposed to make it from 1 cent to a half a cent effective 1 January 2013 is to show the citizens of Prattville that the council was serious about paying the debt, but also serious about reducing the amount of city tax that would be around. So is there a reason why it wouldn't be considered in that same line of thought to set a date on this 1 cent sales tax? And then when that date comes near, just like you're addressing it now, address it at that time? Would there be a reason why you wouldn't want to do that, instead of just leaving it open-ended?
Does anyone else want to weigh in on this before I give my opinion on it? Councilor Wood.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Brand, just let me say, one of the things that I spoke about when the press was asking people about this particular tax is that I believe that the businesses that may come here and the businesses that are here need to have some stability about the tax situation. We won't be out of debt until 2031, I believe. All new businesses or anybody inspiring to come here by having this in place at 9.5, they will know what they're dealing with. So I don't think it would be in our best interest to do what you just spoke of, to keep coming back. Put it in place now. So if a potential investor is out there, and I'm told that there are some out there, they know what they'll be dealing with the city of Prattville, and that's why I believe we need to do this and let it stay there so everyone knows exactly what they're dealing with. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Anyone else? Councilor Strickland.
Thank you. Mr. Brown, that I'm the one that changed my mind on this. I still do not like the tax per se being placed on the public. But in a finance committee meeting, there were some real hard facts that came to my mind. Number one is Mr. Wood is correct. The final maturity on our long-term debt is the year 2031. That's 19 years from now. That 19 years is 228 months. At this point, we've been talking about approximately $5 million worth of sales tax revenue coming in from this 1 cent. A penny would yield the $5 million. Half of a penny would give us half of that. If you divide that $5 million by 12 months of what we're getting per month, it averages out to be about $416,700. The city of Prattville's debt, if you look at the public record, our audited financial statement, which is on the city website, on page 40 of that financial statement, you find that not only does the city owe $55 million worth of principal debt, but nothing's mentioned except on that page about the interest that runs for another 19 years. So when you put the principal and the interest together, that comes up to about $69,319,000. You divide that by the 228 months, or the 19 years, you come up with $304,000. So we have a potential revenue stream at a full penny of $416,000, and we have a guaranteed debt of at least $304,000 every month on average for the next 19 years or 228 months. My proposal, with an amendment tonight, would be that we go until the debt is paid in full or 2031. whichever comes first.
Okay. Did you have any comments, Councilman Renninger?
Did you read the article that I wrote for the Progress that appeared in Saturday's newspaper?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Does it-
I just didn't want to be redundant.
Does it present your?
Yes, it presents my
response? I can
position,
get
but
one
I'll
and
be
read it
happy
later.
to explain to you why I'm going to propose an amendment to change that ordinance to an ending date, a termination date of September the 30th, 2014. Our finance director has done a very skillful job, as you well know, of disclosing where we are financially and where we need to be through 2013 and 2014. Now, past that, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't think anybody does. We can't see into the future. I'm going to propose a termination date of 2014 as a gut check time. We're going to set this thing, if it's voted on, to terminate September the 30th of 2014. And sometime between now and then, it'll be incumbent upon the city council that's sitting up here where we're sitting right now to carefully look at everything that's going on and then to determine whether or not the revenue stream has built up enough to reduce the tax or whether we need to extend the tax further. That's my line of thinking. I don't think we can propose this as a temporary tax without a definitive ending date, and I think it needs to be within a 2-year period. You put it out 13, 14 years, a city is always going to have debt. You can't have growth without debt these days. But there's good debt and there's bad debt. It's how you manage it determines on whether it's good or bad. So that's why I propose a gut check of 2014.
Okay. As you had said, you wanted to see if any citizens were not against this raise in taxes. Well, you've partly convinced me that I should be in support of this tax, but part of me is saying that if we let the government, which is our city government here, continue to raise taxes and give good reasons as to why they need to raise taxes, then they can just keep eaching on up. And that's why I'm against raising taxes unnecessarily, because if a city can decide that to pay for all our services, we need 9% for sales tax. And then people buy a series of items for $100, they pay $9 in taxes. Well, inflation will make the items go up to $110 in a short period of time. But you're still getting 9% of $110. So the expenses go up in relationship. The taxes go up, everything goes up in relationship. So that's why I'm against the idea of inching up taxes. Because if the city can't decide on what percentage they need to run the city, then maybe they ain't looking at it hard enough to come up with a firm number. That's why I'm kind of against the idea. But your statements, particularly Councilman Strickland's, and your article, I'll make sure I get a chance to read it, has partly convinced me that we have to depend on each other, so we can just depend on the council's future votes to see how it's going in the future. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Brand. Anyone else like to speak against this proposed ordinance? Okay. We'll declare the public hearing at an end, and this item will be number 3 on our regular agenda. If you'll join